Hi, my name is Balaji. I've never been in water before. But very soon I was kind of sinking. All I saw was a very black thing before me, and I saw a very thin white line, and I thought, this is the end of me, and I gave up.
Now, all we're going to do with Balaji right now is let him just walk and get used to how the water's going to feel and how it actually pushes you around a little bit. You'll feel it's much thicker than air is. So, Balaji, just feel free to take about maybe 10 steps or so that way. Just walk, let go of the wall. Just get comfortable, get used to it. Use your hands if you like. In the water if you want to. Feel the water pushes you around. All right, come on, turn around, come back to me. How'd it feel?
It feels
You okay so far?
Yeah, it feels a little weird, but yes, good.
Okay. Still not the most comfortable for you.
I mean, it's different. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Very different feeling. And if those of you out there just beginning, start in the water and just walk. Waist deep. Walk, walk, walk. Do you get comfortable enough? Maybe chest deep. I wouldn't recommend anything over your head to start off with. I would go probably waist deep of water and just get used to walking, moving, feel the water, start moving your arms around, and you'll start feeling more and more comfortable in the water environment. It's very, very different from what it is up there. And it could be scary to you also, and we acknowledge that, and we're glad that he's here. So now, if he's ready to now, first thing is to put the face in the water, and if you have a hard time with that in a pool, you can start in a sink at your house. You can use a bathtub. You can use a hot tub. You can use whatever you need, a bucket of water if you needed to, just to get used to putting your face in something. And an issue that most people have is water going up the nose or water going inside the mouth, because the breathing is such a scary thing for a lot of people. We're going to make it simple for you, all right? First things first, we're going to make you airtight. Airtight and watertight. We're going to have you take a really, really big breath. Don't put your face in the water. Just take the biggest breath you can. Hold that breath. Now try to sniff. Sniff some air. All right, breathe it out. Were you able to sniff at anything through your nose? Anything at all?
After I fully took a breath, I didn't have enough lung capacity to breathe more.
Very good. What Balaji did is he inhaled to the point where he's got 2 life jackets in here. 2 inflatable life preservers, and they're your lungs. He filled them up. Once they're already full, there's no more room. So even if he tried to breathe in more air through the nose, you're not able to. So now we're airtight and we're watertight. We'll cover the actual breathing and the releasing of the air later. Right now, it's important to make them airtight and watertight. So that being said, and you've been comfortable enough now at home, working in your sink, working in a bathtub, and you're ready for the pool. You've walked around a little bit now. This could be weeks, this could be months for some of you. Be patient, do not get frustrated, and practice. So, next step for Balaji is going to be holding his breath, now putting his face in. I want to make sure you all just don't get frustrated and think that you're all going to do it in one day. Likely it's not going to happen that way, but it's possible. But let's do it the right way, step by step by step. We're not going to move ahead to step number 2 or 3 until we master step number 1. We're not going to move to step number 4 or 5 until we master steps 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully that's clear. Now that we've gotten Balaji comfortable in the water, and he's walking around a little bit, and he feels what it's supposed to feel like, he's ready, and he already held his breath and showed us that he couldn't put any more air in the nose. Now we're going to put the face in the water. We're going to let him stand. In fact, I'll even have Balaji hold on to the wall right near the gutter. That way he has some stability. And when I sink, I'll go first. I'm going to take a giant breath. I'll put my face in the water with my ears underwater comfortably for 5 seconds. I'll count in my head, but here's what goes. Ready? Big breath first. Ears under. As I came up from the water, you notice air only had one direction to go. Which way? Out. There was no way anything was going to go in, which means no air's going in, no water's going in. It only goes out. very comfortable. Balaji, you ready?
Yes.
Big step right here. Hand on the wall, be comfortable. 2 if you want, whatever. Take the biggest breath you can. Face in, ears under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back up. Blow it out. Anything up your nose?
No.
Anything inside your mouth?
No.
Beautiful. Was it
Perfect.
semi pleasant?
It was when I went in, you feel like I'm going to come up myself. I don't know why,
Awesome.
but it was good.
Well, I'll explain why. Because he filled up his lungs. There's no way you're going to stay down if your lungs are full. I wouldn't float the easiest, but watch what even I do. I'm going to float I'm going to tuck myself up in a ball, and I'm going to float. I'm going to have Balaji push me down with both hands like I'm a basketball. He's going to let go. Watch what happens to me. And I'm a pretty big, 6'3", 220 pounds. Watch. When I float, push me down. And then watch what happens. Now, what happened? What Balaji just experienced himself. He felt the water push himself back up. I just proved to you what happens. As long as your lungs are full, that can happen. But watch what happens when I let out the air of my lungs. No need to push me down this one. It's going to happen by itself. Watch. Just that activity of releasing air out of my lungs, what happened? My buoyancy diminished, and there I went down. The next step for us is going to be having Balaji floating in the water. And we call it a starfish float. It's also known as a prone float. My dad used to refer to it as the big tree with the branches up, but it's going to be a floating motion like this. I'll take a big breath first. My face will go in, my arms will extend, and I should float and actually move a little bit. It's kind of cool. Now again, I floated because my lungs were full. Balaji, it's your turn. Ready for this? Arms up, just like this.
You make sure
I've got you. Arms up.
Okay.
Float towards me. Take the biggest breath you can. Float to me, put your ears under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Come on up. Oh. How'd you do?
I don't know what I did.
Anything up your nose?
Not yet.
Anything inside your mouth?
No.
Was it somewhat pleasant?
It is a little better now.
Good enough, good enough. Now,
Listen.
I'm going to make one adjustment now for Balaji. What I've noticed is his head is actually too low in the water, and his hands and arms are out of the water. Well, we're going to have those hands and arms floating in the water. They're going to float because you're much lighter in the water than you are out of the water. And in physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If something is up, something else is going to go down. It's going to be usually his legs. So right now, let's not put your head so far in the water. In fact, it's okay to have the very back of your head just barely, almost top of the surface. Just your ears under. Big breath. Hands in the water. Relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what Balaji just did was he just traveled about maybe 4 or 5 yards on his own without any kind of propulsion. Just the push off the bottom was the only one. Floating a little bit, no kicking, no pulling. He's moving on top of the water.